You know, you can be the most amazing cop in the world.
Thank you.
But you can't rewrite history. I have nothing to confess.
I might even do it in one.
Why? Have you got a competition running?
Why does clowning work for screen acting?
We all have a clown inside. The clown is that essence of play.
Yeah, I feel like I found like new things to play with.
We didn't share our own backstories that we'd come up with, and then it turned out that we pretty much had the same one.
But what does she really want with this staring game?
What happens if you practice this all your life? That the world is a playground.
We need some urgency here, too.
Our vocation is to play.
Hello everyone and welcome to Beyond the Script, where we explore acting and bringing a character to life through various voice, movement and acting methods. I'm your host Marion and we are in the Limbri Theatre here at LAMDA Drama School. I am joined by the wonderful, lovely, fantastic Micaela Miranda. She's a theatre maker, movement specialist practitioner and currently the head of movement here at LAMDA Drama School. And my guest actresses, we've got Florencia. How do you say your last name? Because I don't want to like...
Well, how I say is La Tagliata.
La Tagliata.
La Tagliata.
La Tagliata.
Yes.
Okay, how do British people say it?
They don't attempt. Yeah. That's the way.
And we have Pippa Caddick here with us on the show as our guest actresses. Massive thank you to all of you for taking the time to come out. Really appreciate it. So the episode for today is clowning for screen, which I thought we were going to like see some clowns, but it was different. It was a different approach, which I wasn't actually expecting. And it's about how the art of clowning helps an actor to bring truth and life to a character and to a situation and to the scene. The script was written by an upcoming writer called Noah Page. And it was written specifically for this show. If you would like to find out more about Noah, just check in the description section below. Before we get started, Micaela, could you briefly tell us about your experience in physical storytelling?
I'm very passionate about physical storytelling as a movement specialist. So when I did my first training as an actor, like kind of classical training, I was very passionate about movement. Like movement was the thing that really took me out there. And then I pursued going into mime school in France, in Paris. And so that's where, and I was already following the clowning route. So since then, all my training is about how the body speaks, or how, you know, what is between the silence, what is in the silence, and how we use the space, and how we, in how things land in our body, etc.
Could you tell us a bit about your international work as well?
I've lived and worked in Palestine for many years at the Freedom Theatre, where I was the director of the Freedom Theatre Acting School, the first actor training, professional actor training in occupied Palestine. We did a lot of that kind of work, you know, through movement and how we, you know, gathering stories and how to tell stories. And obviously in Palestine, there is an emergent will to tell stories and to create from scratch stories that will speak to the world about what it is to be a Palestinian, to live there, etc. And so, with my kind of skill, I've managed to help create impact in the stories that we're told.
Hi, my name is Micaela Miranda. I'm a movement specialist and a clown practitioner. I'm the lead practitioner in movement at LAMDA, and you're about to see an interrogation scene with Pippa and Flo. We haven't worked on it yet. We will work on it now.
Must be weird sitting on that side of the table.
Don't I get a hello? It's unusual to be sitting on this side, yes.
But is it weird?
I don't see how it's any different.
Unusual is simply out of the ordinary. I'm asking you if it's weird.
You're asking if I find it uncomfortable. I suppose I would if I had something to hide. I'm not uncomfortable. And I'd appreciate it if you stuck to your word. Straight questions and straight answers.
We have 5 hours in here together. I'll get your confession in 2.
Could you both tell us briefly about like your actor training background and who were your characters in terms of in the scene? What did you want the audience to know about those characters in the scene?
Yeah, so I trained at Drama Studio London years ago now. And then in terms of clowning, actually, I've mostly kind of learnt on the job, where I was sort of almost ended up being cast as a clown in The Taming of the Shrew, which many clown roles in that. I didn't audition for the clown, but I only walked out of the audition room with the clown role and then learned on the job. And then from there, I just kind of picked up training here and there because I loved it and it was just such fun.
Yeah.
And then in this scene, I was playing Lola, who's sort of on the wrong side of the table in the interrogation room. We didn't share our own backstories that we'd come up with, and then it turned out that we pretty much had the same one, which was that they were partners, because it seemed like the biggest form of tension that you could explore. So former partners, and there'd been sort of a betrayal. Now they were here in this room.
Okay. And Flo?
So I trained at LAMDA. Back home, I trained in musical theatre and dance. So my background was in physical theatre. So I feel like that's part of my practice. And then, clowning became something I really love.
Which you're really good at, by the way, because we were in the same cohort here at LAMDA, and we did Tristan and Isolde. Yeah. And Flo, really you are the funniest clown. Like, true clowning.
You both. You both were like...
Yeah, you were amazing as well.
But what was who was your character, and what were you trying to get the audience to know about them?
So I was playing Matilda, who is the detective. In my story, they used to be best friends and work together. And then there was a betrayal from her. And I feel that in the scene, it's my time to regain my power, to have my power back. But I'm also... She brings me lots of insecurities.
Okay.
But it's like that was in the back of my mind, but I wasn't trying not to think about that.
So you're saying they were partners before? Yeah. And it's interesting to play the status, isn't it? Even though like the status has reversed. So there's a nice reversal there for us to be playing, yeah? The first thing that comes to my mind when I look at this text is the games in it. Have you noticed?
Yes.
Okay, what's the first game?
I feel my character is trying to make her feel very, not uncomfortable, but like that she's less than I am. Like she's sitting on that place and I'm now I have
Yeah, that's an interpretation of the game and we can go there. But even more, because sometimes, games bring the action alive and it's like, it's scripted. Look, first game that I see is you are in a well-fitted suit, you are sloppy. Sloppy and slumps, yeah? So we have a movement contrast here where one is trying to keep order and the other one is already breaking order non-verbally. Okay. Does that make sense? Yeah? And then another game is the staring her down. Should we play a little bit of the staring down for a moment? What are the rules of the staring down? Yeah. When do we lose the game? Is it when we blink? Let's make the blinking a problem. Ha! You lost. Did you see that? Yeah. So if you get up for a moment, just get the chair a little bit, I'll put it back. Yeah. Let's just give each other a high five, like a yes. Yes. Yeah. Jumping is like a yes. Fully commit to it. Yes. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. And you can step away and come back. And when you come to each other, you yes and high five. Go on. Yes, very good. Now we come together and it's a no, so I'm going to turn away from you. Yes, very good. And now this is a game. Come closer. And it's what will we do? Is it a yes or a no? Will we jump and high five, or will we go away from each other? Oh. Yeah. And again. And now really try to trick each other, right? Yeah? Do you notice the emotion that comes with it? Allow it to be in your body. Yeah, can you see that? And so it's winning and losing, all of that is in that staring game. So can we say that in the staring game, what does she really want with this staring game? What is it?
I want to feel powerful, like more powerful than she is now.
Yeah.
And to kind of like diminish her as well.
Yeah. So your game is in a way, and this is throughout the text, to control her movement, right? The game of weird. You want her to say that word.
Yeah.
Right? Is it weird? Yeah, even how you pronounce it, yeah? It should be that. It's just a simple thing. And so what is your game?
My mind is just like to win, which is, so the game is to similarly always dodge what she's doing and stay in power that way.
Yeah. She stands straight, you slump.
Okay.
Yeah? She breathes or she holds her breath, you breathe easy.
So, Micaela, why does clowning work for screen acting? Like, what is it about the art?
Does it though?
I thought it did.
Yeah.
Because from what you brought, your instinct, to what it transpired into.
Yeah. We all have a clown inside. The clown is that essence of play. Yeah, that sometimes, and in the way, we kind of lose it, right? It's like we're, oh, I have to do this scene, or I'm thinking about how to be good and interesting and so on. And we lose the essence that is, a play is a play, right? It's called a play, and we're here to play.
Right.
And we're here to make the invisible visible. That is this world, yeah? And let's also each of our audience step in with their imagination and take something from it, right? And so the clown is that essence, right? I think working with clown, and I think we could see it a little bit here. Like always, there's a question like, how does it work with the medium? But it really helps you be bold, because you're like, okay, and if you see, I didn't go very much too deep into the backstory and like it's a real person and you have to feel it. It's like, what is the game? What is the game we're playing? And in the end, it makes it clowning also makes it quite simple. It was a power game that was happening there in the scene. It's like, I want you to do something and I will not do it. Yeah. As simple as that. Yeah. And then you know, clown is a technique, and I often say it's a practice, right? So we met yesterday, and they were in my workshop yesterday, and we kind of played with the technique. We played with the red nose. The red nose is really helpful because it's in your face and you really feel it, like you feel your face softening and the breath, and really the clown is very opening and listening to what is going on. And I think that helped a lot today, right? Because I felt you guys were really listening to each other and what was happening. So it helps the game a lot.
So what did you guys discover about your characters after doing the clowning that you didn't know before?
I think even though I felt like, oh, she makes me a bit insecure, but I'm trying to push that out of my, system. But when you stood up, like the last scene, when you, like, suddenly were walking around, I felt really like threatened up, it was really threatening. And I didn't know that. I was like, oh, there she is. and I was like, I want her to sit down again. And they didn't know how to do it, so I sat down myself. And I was like, but I felt, really uncomfortable. And I wasn't expecting to feel that.
Yeah, actually the same with me. There were a few moments, you're playing the game, and I think it's almost like with any game in life, you kind of enter the game to win, and you sort of believe that you're going to win.
Right.
And then there were a few rug pull moments where it was like, oh, she won. like in that moment, or it really kind of throws you. There was one bit where I think I said when we were up there that I kind of gave almost like, well, these are the rules. Here are the rules. And then she didn't do it. And I was just like, oh, and it suddenly made me feel so much more uncomfortable than I had, because I was like, I'm in control. I am comfortable. I'm about making you uncomfortable. And then that really caught me unawares.
So that was your objective going in? Initially,
well, just to win,
to intimidate. Okay,
in some ways, and to win perhaps by intimidation or by making her feel uncomfortable, but to ultimately win, and then to suddenly be on the back foot.
Yeah.
And then you're just suddenly, the rest of the scene becomes a fight to try and regain your ground again, which isn't, I think, particularly necessarily what you think about when you're looking at a script. You're thinking, what's the journey from A to B?
Right.
You don't expect the journey to have this little detour in the middle. And then it just becomes so much more alive.
Yeah. Especially when you don't expect it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part about clowning, isn't it? That it's
Surprises.
Yeah, it's unexpected. And also it's more interesting when there isn't, like you were saying, the blocking and the this and the that and the back history and like really all this focus. You just end up losing that sense of play.
Can we play that game for a moment without the text and just the game of I want her... What is your game exactly?
I want to feel powerful and I want her to
do what I want. Yeah. And I will absolutely not.
Sorry, are we doing the text?
Without the text. Without the text. And you can move around however you would like. Yes, emotions are welcome, absolutely. Yeah, and what happens if you fully commit to the game? Go for it. Why not? We're exploring, so. Okay, and relax. Very good. Yeah, could you feel that? Yeah? And then there's like games within the game, you know what I mean? Like the game of taking the shoes off. It's like, this space is mine.
She kicked my shoes away. It was like,
yeah. Or putting your yeah. I just find it so interesting how much in the non-verbal, everything that is happening. There is the desired outcome. What is your desired outcome?
To get her to confess.
Yeah, confession. You even say it's a really important word in this script. And your desired outcome?
Is to walk out of this room
free and clean.
free and clean.
And how much you trust her, that's a question there.
I think also the clowning is very much about the body. Okay. Yeah, so I'm primarily a movement practitioner, and I will always look at the body. And what the clown does, it helps you really not just being in your body, finding the surprises, right? But also even the words were coming from your body, right? We saw that. And so suspension, comic stops or fixed points, like they're just devices of vocabulary to speak about timing, which is really important in acting. And I go the other way around. Instead of making it a very big imagination exercise, I go like, okay, I'm a real person. What do I want? Just play the game of the timing, with on top of the essential game that we found in the scene, right? And then the dynamic is there. It's almost like, tricking you a little bit, like giving the actor a vocabulary to play, not to think. And just be with. And I think it's quite a valuable thing for an actor. Like I often get actors like come to my workshops like they need a clown fix. I need to do some clowning now. Why? It's because I'm thinking too much. I'm too worried. Again, it's a practice. And I wonder, this is for everyone, what happens if you practice this all your life? That the world is a playground. And you were talking about it, no? It's like this kind of release or relaxation that comes from going like, oh yeah, I know the game. I know the rules of the game.
Yeah.
I come in, I play, I lost. And the clown bounces back and goes like, interesting, I lost. And again. And I go again.
I like to do this scene again. And I want to introduce something like, when we work with clowning, it's like going with the pleasure of doing something to the hilt. Why not? And let's go of that, this is completely ridiculous. Within the world of this game that we're doing, and let's do something, I call it doing it for the editor. Yeah, the editor will be very thankful if we have lots to give, right? So, and as we've worked before, when does the word come? In terms of like, it's from the body in the game. When does the word come in this game? I'm very interested to explore, yeah? Let's do it for the sake of exploration, because we can, yeah? Shall we do that?
Yeah.
All right.
Can I...
So are we doing the dialogue on...
With the dialogue now.
Can I walk around?
Yeah, you do whatever you'd like. Let's explore that.
Must be weird sitting on that side of the table. Don't I get a hello?
It's unusual sitting on this side.
Yes. But is it weird?
I don't see what difference it makes.
Unusually, simply out of the ordinary? I'm asking you if it's weird.
You're asking if I feel uncomfortable. I suppose I would if I had something to hide. I'm not uncomfortable.
I'd appreciate if you stuck to your word. Straight questions and straight answers.
We have 5 hours in here together. I'll get your confession in 2.
You might be the best cop in the world, but you can't rewrite history. I have nothing to confess.
I might even do it in 1.
Well, have you got a competition running or something?
No. I have a dinner to attend. You were a cop once. You know how this goes. So let's begin.
How do you weave that into your daily practice as an actor? Because, okay, let's just be honest. Let's be real. We're not the wealthiest people in the world, right? And everything costs. It even costs us to get jobs. We have to be on Spotlight. You have to pay. IMDb Pro, you have to pay. You have to pay for everything, just to get a job. Apart from trying to get into workshops, what's some little daily practices that you can actually do to stay in that clowning world?
I think playing is for free, gladly. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So what happened yesterday? You came to my workshop on your way home. Any interesting?
I mean, I was feeling so happy, but I felt so like a freedom. Like it was like giving myself permission.
Yeah.
That's what I felt today as well. It was
Did
like,
you-
we have permission to do all of these things with the
And what,
body.
did you just give yourself permission to do any games that came up?
No, but I was feeling very silly.
Feeling
like,
silly.
oh. Yeah, I was like, oh.
So the game of being silly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The game, like often when I do these workshops, suddenly I start to look at people in the eyes in the streets. I go like, no, stop it. You're going to make yourself in trouble. Yeah. But I don't know, I start to see objects and I go like, ooh, I'll just be that water bottle for a moment. Yeah, it's like
reminding
a
yourself
constant
that life is a playground.
Just reminding yourself that the world is a playground.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Yeah.
but like I often give suggestions. You know, you see someone walking in front of you, steal their rhythm.
Yeah.
And
I
just
do
go.
that sometimes.
Yeah,
Actually.
yeah.
You copy them.
Yeah,
we all do it
yeah.
naturally. We do it naturally. Like our vocation is to play, and then in the meantime, we put all these barriers and go like, no, you're an adult now, stop playing, and so on. But we're playing that we are adults.
Yeah, yeah.
We're playing a podcast right now. You know.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
all played it.
and we're really good at that. Yeah, and we're really good at that. Yeah, and the more you play, the better you become at it. Yeah. So yeah, lots of practices, and even like obviously for actors, there's sports.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's really structured team games. It is like wow, it's really great. But games that also get your imagination in and put you, but every game will put you in the present moment because you're so focused on achieving the outcome that you use everything, you know, like there was a moment there that you went like this with your finger, like tapping with your finger on the table, and you noticed it and it just did something to you. And it's like, of course, this is what we want, the kind of aliveness in a scene that we want from actors. Imagine if you would plan it, you'll be like, oh, I'll tap the finger and like, could you notice it? Like, we First, we would never do that. And secondly, we would be noticing something else. We would be noticing your planning.
Scene? Yeah? How was that?
It felt more like, I feel like more freedom.
It felt much freer.
Yeah.
And then
Lots of dynamics that you found also, right?
And actually, there was one stage direction which I had sort of always found hard, but it just worked perfectly then, which was the one where she like makes the joke at the end, and it was just like, I'm making the jokes. It's like,
So I think you nailed like the underlying game. Then there's more to it, but this underlying game, and for me, what frees me, and this really comes from clowning, right? What is the game? We're always finding what is the game. It frees me to listen to whatever there is, to what there is happening there, and that's what we want. Now, a couple of notes. Really well on taking your time. Let the thought drop. Like, for example, what was it? Do I not get a hello? This journey from a question is a question, isn't it? I'm waiting for an answer. Even it's scripted, right? It's better move on. Yeah? That journey there. Okay. Yeah? To be really clear with the journey. Now, we need some urgency here too, right? Because yes, it's a very interesting thing that's happening here, the relationship and so on. But what is urgent? Like, let's put this on the highest stakes possible for you in terms of your job.
If I win this, then I step up.
Yeah.
And if not, I might step down.
Worse. Yeah, make it worse. There's a nice clown game. How worse can we make it even?
I get fired.
How worse? Even more?
I get fired and I never get to work again.
Yeah, and for you?
Well, I end up in prison for years and miss everybody growing up, everything that stage of life. Family, life, everything.
Yeah. And let's play the space in terms of, you know where you are, both of you. You know what's out there. Probably people listening and so on, and all of that. Yeah. Let's do it again for the director. Lots of fun there. Lots of So have fun, but keep it in the world of these stakes. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Must be weird sitting on that side of the table.
Do I not get a hello? It's unusual to be sitting on this side, yes.
But is it weird?
I don't see what difference it makes.
Unusually simply out of the ordinary. I'm asking you if it's weird.
You're asking if I find it uncomfortable. I suppose I would, if I had something to hide. I'm not uncomfortable. I'd appreciate if you stuck to your word. Straight questions and straight answers.
We have 5 hours in here together.
I'll get your confession in too.
You know, you can be the most amazing cop in the world.
Thank you.
But you can't rewrite history. I have nothing to confess.
I might even do it in one.
Why? Have you got a competition running?
No, I have a dinner to attend. You were a cop once. You know how this goes. So let's begin.
And scene. Yay! Good. Yeah. How was that?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I feel like I found like new things
Yes.
to play with.
It felt a lot more emotional as well, actually.
Yeah, and it's good when the emotion comes from the game. It's not like something we've decided it's going to be there. Yeah? It's in the winning and losing of the game. Also, you kind of naturally found the blocking in the text. Even that when I read the text, I was like, "Ooh, how are we going to do this? Like lean back on their seats like an in-sync duo," and then suddenly, because it's that game.
I wasn't thinking about it at all.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was interesting if you think about it in terms of a game, because there was one bit where I said, like, the straight questions and straight answers was like, those are the rules of the game. You lay them out to me, now I'm laying them back at you. And then when you just kind of rejected it, being like, we have 5 hours, it was like,
Yeah.
it was really annoying. Because I think I'd lost in that moment to go like, here we are. And then it was like, okay, now I have to
It's like, I feel like
start playing again.
you were trying to get me with like the memory of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is what we used to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
Yeah, but it was interesting. Yeah, I didn't expect to lose. And there's like, oh no, I've lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the emotion comes from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so be really in the game.
Like, what was the main objective that you were trying to get out of this particular session in terms of showing the impact of clowning for screen? Like, was it truth? Was it ease? Was it intention? Like,
Yeah, I think bold choices.
both choices.
Is one that comes to mind in
Yeah, you
terms
mentioned
of
that at the
like,
beginning,
Yeah,
yeah.
because it's something I see often. Is I can see, because when I look at scenes, I see the body and I see the impulses being stopped.
Oh, you can see that.
Yeah. And for a while I thought everyone does, but I think it's a
Yeah,
movement
no.
thing.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. It's like when you, but we can all train ourselves to see that. Absolutely. It's when almost like we go like, yeah, what is said is on top of something that is happening, but a lot is happening in the body, right?
From a movement perspective, what is your definition of a bold choice?
It's allowing surprises to come from your body. And so it's either they come from you or they happen to you.
Okay.
And being alive with that and having the courage to allow it to be amplified, because sometimes like you can train yourself to make it really small, almost like imperceptible, but it's also a bold choice to know who we're doing this for. We're doing this for the audience that is either on the screen or in the dark in the theater, and we're doing it for them. You know, watching a theater play from behind is not interesting because we're giving it all to them. So there is that too. We spoke about it yesterday. We play with the audience's breath. So ultimately, we're doing all of this to move an audience and to play with their imagination. So they are there either sitting on a sofa or in the theater, and they hold their breath, and then they go. Yeah. And you know, all of this with timing is that play too.
Just as we're wrapping up here, what's one thing that you'll take away from today in terms of like that you can put in your toolbox from today and yesterday? Because you had a bit of a play that we didn't see yesterday before you came here to actually play for the screen. So what's something that you've learned from being with Micaela that you'll put into your...
Being re-alerted to movement in the body and being kind of like aware of that again, and how we played with it yesterday, and then we just played with it a little bit up there, and then it became second nature to just adjust and to read them, and then it was so funny how we started doing all the stage directions without thinking about it. That was all just suddenly started coming just from reading and reacting. And I think as an actor, and I think this is partly due to like the world of self-tapes as well, where you're confined to this tiny space, and half the time you're on your own, like talking to like a Post-it note on the wall, and you know, whatever, you know, and then you kind of forget that you can do that, and that there's something to react to, and actually just being like, oh yeah, this is a huge part of communication.
Yeah.
So I feel really reminded of that. So thank you very much.
Hey.
Essentially, the power of breathing, and how that, like, if you listen to that, it kind of like, it becomes like another language apart from the script, that like in between the characters as well. If you're present, and you listen to your body, it's like that becomes second nature, and like having the freedom to be in surprise. But if I'm not in my body, then how can I be surprised? Like, you know, So it's like really feeling here. And not here. Being like, yeah,
definitely. And Micaela, could you give us one tip from today that you'd like people to know about clowning to help actors in their practice?
Play, and play is a practice.
Yeah.
And don't wait to feel like you want to play. You know, just do it. Do it as a practice. We all play professionally.
Yeah.
Right. And as a musician practices their instrument, and a dancer goes off and does their drills, and an athlete, we are athletes of the heart, and we are athletes of play. And so just bring more play into your life, and it's a practice.
And it's free, like you said, it is
it's
free.
free.
Yeah,
it's free for now. Unless you join my workshop now.
It's free.
But and we need more play. We need more play, because the more we are away from each other, and obviously there's lots of play on screens, not condemning that at all, but like there is more and more a culture of individualism and isolation.
On screen,
and it's where play becomes a revolution now, and actually being together. We also talked about play being a form of intimacy. When we are safe enough to play with each other and be brave, a lot happens. A revolution happens.
Yeah, definitely. I know you do workshops. How can people work with you? How can people find you?
Just follow me on Instagram. I have an Instagram account where I put everythh out there. You just
Your Instagram
follow the
handle
link is Micaela with a C, not an H. .Miranda _ the circle.
Your workshops are mainly clowning workshops, or?
Yeah, I do clowning workshops. I do mask. I also work with actors on their movement. I also do creative mentorship if people are wanting to develop like a show idea. At this time in the world, I'm doing clowning because I think the world needs it. So that's what I'm doing.
Amazing. Yeah. And ladies or actresses or actors, any upcoming projects? You don't have to have any upcoming projects, just in case you do, that people can come and see you on, and how can people follow you?
I don't have anything right now.
Me neither.
But you know, there could be something right around the corner.
Yeah.
Profession. People can find me on Instagram. So pippa.caddick. So that's PIPPA.CADDICK.
Yeah.
And you'll find me there.
Amazing.
Same, nothing, no projects at the moment, but maybe around the corner.
Yeah. And how can people follow you?
My Instagram is, Flor, which is FLOR, and then my surname, which is LATA.
We'll spell it for
GLIATA.
Thank you so much for coming. If you'd like to find out more about our guests, you can see in the comment section below. I want to say thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing your art with us. Thank you for sharing your practice with us.
6 months into graduating from drama school, I felt like I hit rock bottom. That's where the idea of Be Seen came from. The idea is for creatives and artists to be seen. So I want to create a community of like-minded individuals who will work together to collaborate and take each other to the next level. So if you're an artist, a creative, an actor, director, producer, and you want to be part of the Be Seen community, send us an email, leave a comment in the section below, and let's get connected.